an over 90% success rate in winning at the highest court in our battle against activist judges across this country.
Madam Secretary,
we will continue to appeal, and then when it gets to the highest court and we get a decision, it is proven that we are right, that we have been compliant. I will also say,
Madam Secretary, let me.
Do you want me to answer your questions or not?
I do, but let me. You haven't been telling us the truth. Look, there have been at least 170 known cases of citizens being arrested or detained by federal immigration agents this year alone. This is the truth. Are you lying to the American people right now by denying these reports?
When we are doing our targeted enforcement operations against criminal illegal aliens, individuals that are in that area may be...
When accusations of perjury fly in a congressional hearing, the real question becomes simple. Where's the proof?
Let's talk about this, because I think the words that these elected officials have used to describe our law enforcement officers are horrific, shocking, and unacceptable. Every single American citizen should find the words that they have used to describe these men and women that took an oath to keep us safe unacceptable, and needs to be pointed out that we are seeing the consequences of those words every single day by the violent attacks. 1,000% increase in violent attacks, 8,000% in death threats.
Gentleman's time expired. I now recognize the gentleman from Michigan, Mr. Thanedar, for 5 minutes of question. Please remember to stick to the 5 minutes.
Thank you, Chairman Garbarino and Ranking Member Thompson, for having this hearing today. I know the American people have been demanding answers from this administration on their unlawful actions, so I hope we are able to get some useful answers from our witnesses today. Secretary Noem, this past May, I asked you during a congressional hearing if it was the policy of DHS to follow orders issued by federal courts. You said on the record, and I'm quoting here, "We are following all federal orders." End of my quote, end of your quote. Secretary Noem, you lied to me under oath that day. You lied to the American people, and you have betrayed the trust placed upon you in your role as Secretary of Homeland Security. You defied federal court orders when you refused to order the deportation flights to El Salvador in March to turn around. Federal courts have also found your department to have violated federal injunctions in your continue to send non-citizens on deportation flights, with some courts having called your orders unlawful. Secretary Noem, I just have 3 questions for you. 1, why did you lie under oath by saying DHS was following all federal court orders when they clearly were not?
Congressman.
Question 2, let me finish my questions. Question 2, why did you mislead the American people when you said that no American citizens have been arrested or detained by federal immigration agents? And my last question, number 3, Donald Trump said that your ICE agents haven't gone far enough. Do you think terrorizing American citizens and assaulting peaceful protesters isn't far enough?
Congressman, the Department of Homeland Security and this administration complies with all federal court orders. We always have, and we always will.
Not true.
And we will continue to appeal. And sir, I will even tell you that at the highest court, at the Supreme Court, the Department of Homeland Security in our litigation has an over 90% success rate in winning at the highest court in our battle against activist judges across this country.
Madam Secretary,
we will continue to appeal. And then when it gets to the highest court and we get a decision, it is proven that we are right, that we have been compliant. I will also say,
Madam Secretary, let me...
Do you want me to answer your questions or not?
I do, but let me... you haven't been telling us the truth. Look, there have been at least 170 known cases of citizens being arrested or detained by federal immigration agents this year alone. This is the truth. Are you lying to the American people right now by denying these reports?
When we are doing our targeted enforcement operations against criminal illegal aliens, individuals that are in that area may be detained until we verify who they are, and then they are released. This has been done for years, and every single law enforcement operation that has always happened, we follow the same protocols, and we continue to do that. We have never once detained or deported an American citizen. We have not held them and charged them When we find out
Not
to
true.
verify their identity, then that is when they are released. You also asked about ICE agents going far enough. Sir, I will tell you that every single ICE agent, CBP agent, federal law enforcement officer that's out there doing their work every day, none of them will rest until our communities are safe. None of them will rest until
Secretary
terrorists
Noem,
and
it
criminals
is a fact that
off
you
of our
ignored federal
streets,
orders.
and our children and our grandchildren can grow
Let
up
me
in a country
reclaim my
that
time
truly
here,
is
please.
safe.
Let me reclaim. Secretary Noem, it is a fact that you ignored federal court orders in March and in May of this year. Do you plan on ignoring more federal orders?
We
I'm
always
sick, I'm
comply
sick
with all federal
sick
court
of your
orders.
lies. And the American people demand the
Because
truth.
you keep saying it doesn't make it true.
I am sick of your lies. The American people are sick of these lies. American people demand truth.
America is very happy that finally they have a president in the White House that gets up every day to keep them safe.
Madam Secretary, your incompetence and your inability to truthfully carry out your duties of Secretary of Homeland Security, if you're not fired, will you resign?
Sir, I will consider your asking me to resign as an endorsement of my work. Thank you very much.
I yield back my time.
Gentleman yields back his time. I'll remind members that they are entitled to ask questions during their time. Witnesses are entitled to answer those questions. Members are entitled to reclaim their time. So we're going to have questions and answers. Please allow it. You can reclaim your time if you want, but witnesses are here voluntarily. Please at least give them a chance to answer the questions that you're asking. I now recognize the gentleman from Texas, Mr. Pfluger, for 5 minutes of questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
This Capitol Hill showdown between Representative Shri Thanedar and DHS Secretary Kristi Noem was one of the most explosive moments of the hearing, and it perfectly illustrates how quickly oversight can collapse into accusation-driven theater. Thanedar opened by accusing Secretary Noem of lying under oath, one of the most serious allegations a member of Congress can make. He cited prior testimony where Noem stated that DHS was following all federal court orders, and he claimed that deportation flights and enforcement actions violated court injunctions. Those are not minor disagreements. Those are accusations that imply criminal conduct. And when a lawmaker goes that far, the burden of proof matters. Rather than laying out clear court rulings, timelines, and specific orders allegedly violated, the exchange immediately devolved into interruptions, raised voices, and repeated assertions of dishonesty. Thanedar framed his questions in a way that left little room for explanation, demanding yes or no answers to complex legal processes involving appeals, injunctions, and enforcement discretion. Secretary Noem pushed back forcefully, stating that DHS complies with federal court orders and continues to appeal adverse rulings through the legal system. She pointed to DHS's litigation record at the Supreme Court and emphasized that appeals are part of lawful governance, not defiance. Whether one agrees with her legal interpretation or not, that distinction matters. Appealing a ruling is not the same as ignoring it. The exchange grew more heated when Thanedar accused DHS of arresting and detaining American citizens. He cited reports of individuals being temporarily detained during enforcement operations. Noem responded by explaining standard law enforcement procedure. Individuals may be briefly detained to verify identity and are released once citizenship is confirmed. She categorically denied that DHS has deported or charged American citizens. That clarification was repeatedly interrupted. As the temperature rose, the hearing slipped further from oversight into confrontation. Thanedar repeatedly reclaimed his time, accused the secretary of lying in real time, and declared that he was sick of the lies. At that point, the exchange stopped being about facts and started being about frustration. Even the chairman was forced to step in and remind members that witnesses are entitled to answer questions. One of the most telling moments came at the end, when Thanedar demanded to know whether Noem would resign if she were not fired. Noem responded sharply, saying she would take that demand as an endorsement of her work. It was a line that landed precisely because it contrasted with the emotional intensity coming from the other side. This moment captures a larger problem in Washington. Oversight is supposed to expose truth through evidence, testimony, and follow-up. When lawmakers accuse witnesses of criminal conduct without methodically proving their case, the public is left with noise instead of clarity. Shouting "you lied" may generate headlines, but it does not substitute for establishing facts on the record. Americans deserve transparency, accountability, and serious governance, not hearings where answers are cut off and conclusions are declared before explanations are allowed. If DHS violated court orders, Congress has the tools to prove it. If not, these kinds of exchanges only deepen public distrust and turn legitimate oversight into partisan spectacle. If you want clear, no-nonsense breakdowns of what actually happens in Washington without the shouting matches and spin, make sure to like this video and subscribe to Redscope for more unfiltered political commentary.